You've been wanting to do this one for a hot minute.
I've been wanting to do this one for a hot minute, but also I'm just glad that we're here.
It feels like it's been too long. And
has,
apologies.
Yeah. Although, you know what? A part of me doesn't want to apologize.
Why?
Because I'm just like, it is
life, innit?
This is it, innit? It's like I'm not gonna pretend that like I'm a YouTuber on a YouTuber wait. Like, no.
You know
like,
what? That's
life.
fair. That's fair because there are those people who would decide to have that kind of lifestyle. And it is challenging, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen more people have burnout from those set of circumstances. All the people that I follow, they were like, yo, I'm burnt out. Trying to keep up with the algorithm, trying to, it's actually changed too much of my life.
Nah, so it's balance. It's balance.
Fair.
But we are not alone.
Indeed.
We are not alone. So as you said, I've been looking forward to this episode. I think this is going to be a really cool episode. And joining us today is your other half, so to speak.
The way you made that sound, I didn't enjoy that.
And I intentionally made it sound like that. Joining us today is Kenrick, Mr. H2O Sandy, MBE.
Oh, sheesh.
I threw the
MBE on top.
But that said, the title that we are concerned with today is the title that we all have, which is Father. Yeah. And if you're watching this, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
And I wanted to do an episode with other dads who I love and respect, and talk about fatherhood stuff. And so the way this episode is going to work, same like much the others. We got some videos. However, these videos have been especially curated for this episode. Thanks to Aaron from Raising Boys to Men.
Oh, big up, Aaron.
And Marvin Harrison, Dope Black Dads.
All right, big up.
So we've got a mixture of questions from the two of them. And, you know, it's the usual Chophouse flow. We will play the videos. We will talk about the questions and the points raised in those videos. And when we're ready, we will move on to the next. Some may be short, some may be long. That's how it is.
Okay, interesting, man. Yo, big up Marvin.
Salute.
Yeah, big up Aaron.
Big up Aaron as
well. That conversation had with Aaron was really good as well.
And Aaron was our first ever guest on the Chop as well.
He needs to come back, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he hasn't come back because he was still upset that I only fed him chips because he was a vegan. Didn't know what to do with him, man. Didn't know what to do.
Bro. Well, things have changed. Our minds have opened more.
We've opened. Aaron, come back. We've got celery.
We've got falafel.
Wow.
Falafel, bro.
Aaron's probably watching this thinking, right, man took time to do questions and I'm getting this.
Yeah. No, you're not getting this. You're not getting this. Falafel's bro. I like falafel.
And I like celery.
You do with hummus.
I do with hummus.
I was confused when I saw it in here. I was like, bro, you trying to be healthy? You're like, no, I eat that with and I have olives too.
I was about to do celery and that when I said, you know what, I'm not going to do it today.
Yeah, there's chicken wings.
Mike was today's like
Mike what?
Because last time you had an issue with me with my celery.
I didn't have an issue with your celery.
You didn't let up.
What's your phone doing?
It's vibrating. I'm just making
Turn it off, bro.
Yeah, it's done.
We're doing a podcast. Haven't you?
Relax.
Bro, there is no hype in me.
Can I just say that celery's dead?
Do you know, like, celery probably is stopping me from dying?
Wow.
That was a lot. That was a lot. No, do you know, I never used to like celery, but I actually really like celery, and it also helps the fact that it's very good for people with high blood pressure.
Oh, okay.
But no, celery's not dead, man. I refute your statement. Celery and hummus. See, now I wish I'd done it, and I would have forced you to have some.
Hummus is dead.
Nah, come on. It depends, bro. There's some good hummuses around.
For whoever wants to eat it.
Yeah.
For me, dead.
You don't even put it in like a... You should slap it in one of your wraps.
Have you had like the spicy hummus?
Yeah, there's a spicy one. It's like a sweet chili.
When was that?
There's a sweet chili one.
Yeah, no, bro, try it.
No,
I'm gonna buy it for you.
It's wet sawdust.
You know, it's the texture.
Strong.
The texture in the mouth. He said it's wet sawdust.
That was so strong.
Man, sorry?
I'm not interested.
Fair play.
All right.
Bro, I have to just let people know my eyes are watering because of the hay fever, bro. I'm feeling it right now, bro.
He's lying. He's emotional.
Yeah.
He's
For
been
what?
emotional.
What am I emotional for?
Fatherhood
is
an emotional subject, bro.
It is.
Yeah, and so it's okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. this is a safe space. You're in a safe space. It's all good.
The hand, bro. I felt it in the hand.
All right.
Oh my days.
Let's get into this first video. Yeah, cool.
They say there's never a perfect time to have children, right? But upon reflection, when you think about it, when you look back, what are things that you believe are necessary to have in place before starting your journey of fatherhood?
So
that's interesting because
hindsight being 2020.
And me being the youngest father in the room. Where would you guys like to start from? One of the originals?
Let's start with the original. And then we'll go through to the latest.
The novice.
Originals.
Yeah.
General. That's a very, 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 very good question. For me, I feel like the three major things that I can think of at the time. One was finance. I wanted to make sure that there was money or consistent work or regularity with regards to money. As hard or as easy as it was at the time. The other thing was the mindset, preparing the mind. I was 27 at the time. I mean, I've always wanted to be a dad from young. So, and my youngest sister, she came when I was, I think, between 14 and 19, something like that, I can't remember what. So I already was preparing myself, you know what I mean? For that parenting energy. So the mindset. And the other one, for me, was to love mine. Like my child. Preparing to love my child. Because you love family members, you love your friends, you know, you love your missus. However, I'm loving my child. What does that mean from a heart point of view? What does it mean from a passion point of view? Is that anything and everything that my child needs, they need to get, because I want them to have the best life. So yeah, so finance, mindset, and let's say love preparation.
Or a different kind of love.
Yeah, or the preparation to love.
I like that. I would, not to sound like an echo, but definitely finances. I feel like, to be fair, I feel like finance is really at the top of my list. When I think back at I wouldn't say recklessness, but just the lack of preparation, and how that has been such a long journey to rectify. And then you realize that actually, if you had just been steadfast from young, just from the moment you're of an age where you can start bringing money in, and if you had just been steadfast from then, just those putting away little makes a hell of a difference. And so that's, you know, and I would go as far as to say it's something that I do beat myself up over, in terms of like just not patterning that way earlier than I should have. I often thought about, or would think about, what type of father I would be. And it was more so, sometimes it feel like the weight of really wanting to be a good dad would, I sometimes just sit there and be like, rah, like this is, and then especially when Akai came along, and just the circumstances of his birth, him being premature, and, you know, being in NICU for a month, and all of these things. So even more so then, where it was just like the praying was on 100 of like, God, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that. Yeah, and I did all of that, like, oh, I wish, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be this. But what I really wish I would have done is taken those wishes and those hopes and done something a little bit more practical in terms of bettering myself, and readying myself for becoming a dad. So I think those are the two main things for me, is like finances, that's a big old one, and just actually actively doing stuff to say like I am bettering myself as a human being so that I can be a better father. I'm going to have experiences and be able to impart X wisdom and knowledge to my children.
Because interestingly enough, like, and it's funny, maybe this is going to get me in trouble somewhat, but the notion of finances was the biggest one on top of my head in terms of, like, I don't know, is it a manly thing? Is it the idea that you want to be a provider, that you want to give, that you want to be able to look after the situation? You know what I mean? Be in control of the circumstances surrounding the movement of your child. Like, for me, the one thing that I actually got to do before that was purchase a house and have a space which was mine that no one could take away. You know, other than obviously if I don't pay, then the bank is taking what I'm taking. But more than anything else, to be set up in that circumstance where nothing had to be worried about, you know? And the reason why I say I get in trouble is that when, as a man, like, I was walking into these conversations surrounding the child with that energy first. Yeah. And it's like, I know I was getting told, but where's the compassion? Where's the love? Where's the things to kind of be like, but this is a beautiful thing we're having. Because I know, like, even going back to Ken's scenarios, obviously I was there when Kenya, I was away. No, sorry, I don't know if you wanted me to say names. We can bleep them out.
He's just finished his GCSEs, bro. He's a grown man.
Okay, fair play. So okay, number one, I'll just say number one. You know, I wasn't around. I was actually away for Kenrick's brother's wedding. So he was born whilst I was away. The second one, number two, now I was there. I managed to rock up. I was there in the moment. The third one, I can't remember where I was with her. I can't remember, but yeah, nonetheless, like, I know Ken at each juncture was like, everything's got to be on point. Like, everything he spoke about was his main motivation. And then what was interesting was that, like, I've managed to do that before. Do you get me? I've managed to put myself into those circumstances where I am patterned, like you said. Yeah. Like, I've sorted out how budgeting works and all of those finances work for me directly. So it kind of moves into the next part, which was I wanted it to be on my terms. So I have my own things. I've got my own business. I've got my own name, so to speak. I've got my own kind of atmosphere that I work in. It's not like a circumstance where, for argument's sake, my brother was, where he had to get to work. He had to change his whole life in order to acknowledge the fact that this child was coming. I knew I wanted it to be on my own terms. But interestingly enough, the one that I really wanted to kind of unpick was the notion of when my boy was born, how that initial idea of loving and this, you know, wanting to be this way, and the notion of when the baby comes, this ultimate, like, you know, one of my other boys had a baby a year before, and he was like, yeah, this ultimate sense of love and how that came. But like, listening to your story, just with my story, we had a massive complication in that moment where I thought I was going to lose everybody. And I'm sitting there, bruv, and that love changed. Like, the idea of that love changed to, like, no, I want you to win. So it changed my whole, that moment, like, shifted this idea of what I wanted for my son, or what I wanted to give to my son. All of a sudden it was like, no, live. I want you to be alive. I want you to win. Do you know what I mean? And I just remember when they, because it went mad anyway, and I can go into that another time, but they took him aside and they did what they had to do, and then he cried. And then I've got this video of him, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, come on. Do you know what I mean? And that instant feeling now of just like, okay, I just need to prepare you. So there's this attitude now of, I'm preparing him, as opposed to the idea of this love, this new thing of just like, nah, I've got to get him right. I've got to get him ready. And it's interesting because it has shifted as time has gone along, because now he has a personality. Now he's somebody, you know, and I'm learning is wrong. And I'm falling more in love with that aspect of him, his being, his way. So I kind of wanted to give that nuance where it just, you know, it can just change. When the baby comes, it changes everything of how you had your ideas of what you thought. Because I thought I was creating the best circumstances for him to live in. You know what I mean? My terms, finances. But then all of a sudden I was hit with this unknown.
And it gets real very quickly.
Real very, very quickly. You know, and the notion of your child being sick. You know, that thing. You know what I mean? You had that so early on that your child is like, oh my God, like, we've got to put him in this circumstance. It's now out of my hands. That's what happened in that moment. I was meant to be the one that took him, cut the umbilical cord. All of a sudden, that's taken out of my hands. It's changed that connectivity, you know?
It's funny going back to, you made a point about preparing him, and about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, I made a conscious decision to kind of shift my parenting in terms of actually the age that they are at. I need to really knuckle down in terms of, you need to be prepared for life. I think the boys have been very lucky in the sense that they have grown up just surrounded by so much love. And it sounds so bad because what that had actually done is, in a way, it had kind of jaded their view of the world. So when somebody would do something bad, they couldn't understand why you would do that. And
why someone would do something bad?
Why someone would do something bad?
Okay.
Why would somebody would talk to them in a certain way or whatnot have you? And it's, I'll give you an example. Like, it's about 4 years ago. There was an issue with a guy at school with another kid, and he was talking to me about it. And I said, kids say silly and horrible things. You can't take it on board, blah, blah, blah. And then I just, out of nowhere, was just like, listen, like, in a couple of years, you'll go to secondary school, and then kids are going to be doing your mum jokes and blah, blah, blah. And then, as I said it, his face just kind of went like that. And I thought, oh, gosh. And
he's like, why?
And then he was like, what's a your mum joke? And I was like, oh, shit.
So then you have to take him down that road.
So I'm like, do I take him down that road? And I was like, I have to, because it's better that it comes. Yeah, I think I've told it to you before. It's like, it's better it comes from me than, you know what I mean? Sorry. And so I've explained to him a your mum joke. I was like, kids will make a joke about your mum. None of it's ever going to be true, but they will just think of something horrible to say about your mum. And then I think I actually even looked one up. I couldn't remember one, so I've looked one up, but like, your mum's so fat, blah, blah, blah. And he literally just stood there and went, why would they do that? And there was so much beauty in the innocence.
Yeah.
But then there was also the very quick realization for me that actually, and it's sad because he's right. Why would you do that? Like, why would you start just dissing somebody's mum for no reason at all?
You're from East London, though, bro. This is how it's gonna go.
This is it.
It goes down like that.
It goes down like that, and you need to be prepared and you need to be ready. So obviously that's like a kind of like a loose example, but that just kind of made me think about bigger things in terms of just being prepared to deal with fuckery from human beings.
But you know what, Russ? I don't know if did I cut in and out at the right time?
No, yeah, perfect. In
the sense that I think Aaron's question was kind of connected to the idea of what should you have had, like what would you add to that thing? And it's interesting because obviously it's a year, of life for my boy. But on the flip side, bruv, I remember one of my other mates brought round his kid, and he is 4 months older than mine. And bro, I remember seeing him when he was a month.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw him again when he was 4 months. And the baby that I saw at a month and the baby I saw at 4 or 5 months, bruv, was two different kids.
Yeah.
And I looked at that kid and I was like, yo, I need to cherish him in this phase. Because two things ended up happening, which was like, so basically what I'm saying is, I wish I kind of took more time. And I think I've heard you kind of say it as well.
I'm literally saying it the other day at yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More time in those moments because, bruv, what ends up happening, well, for me anyway, is you kind of remove that child because that child don't exist anymore. That child needs new things. Yeah. You know, needs new understanding. It's got a new way of interacting with the world. That other baby before, which was 2 months old, it's different now. Yeah. And bruv, like I said, you know, like, wow, we have to enjoy him at this level because we're never going to get this again.
That's such a beautiful and solid point because, you're right. I was just a couple of weeks ago, I was saying that, and we were standing in this venue, and on one side, I can see young, and like he's there and he's like on his feet, you know what I mean? But then on the other side, I can see Richard's son. You know,
Yeah.
and that's contrast,
bro.
Mm-hmm.
and it really, you know. And so I was looking at your boy, like thinking, oh man, like I miss those days. And then I started thinking about all of the things that I didn't get to do that I wish I had done with them and whatnot have you. And then I looked over to my right, and then I said, you know what? This is what you need to stop doing.
Yes.
Because you're gonna look one day over to your right, and that's gonna be your son.
Yes.
And the son that's in front of you,
life.
you'll be wishing, oh, where's that 12-year-old gone? Where's that 10-year-old gone?
Yeah.
So I was gonna throw that question at you. Like where you think you are, and obviously you've got 3 different stages of that kind of time. It's like, how do you harness that, or do you stay in that? Do you remember that? What is kind of your experience in that set of circumstances where you look back at your kids? Can you remember them when they were small, or does that remove from you and you just have to focus on where they are now?
I think the major thing for me is the focus of the present time. I appreciate the memories. I appreciate those moments. But I also know that at those times, I was different. So as much as they were different, I was different. You know, when they're younger, I feel like I was much more in one stage of a nurturing kind of state, where sometimes I may not be around because I'm working, because I'm bringing in the money, or I'm trying to sort certain things out to make sure that everyone is blessed. So there's one moment where I have my little moments. So if I'm putting them to sleep, or I'm feeding them, or I'm changing a nappy, those are my precious times. Or times where I'm sitting down watching TV and I have them next to me and they're just sitting there watching TV with me. Those are precious times. So I hold any moment, which is big or small, as a gift. And every time they get older, I continue holding those other moments. Now I'm in a space where my 2 older boys are nearly as tall as me, who, when we walk down the street, you could see there's a pride when they walk with their dad. So now there's a different energy. And then on the flip side, I have that moment with my daughter when I take her to school. When I'm walking down the street, she just knows, yeah, I'm with my dad. So as much as there is like what you are saying with regards to those memories, at the same time, us as parents, us as fathers have also given them memories. Do you know what I mean? Our interactions, as big or small, they will appreciate, because there are certain moments where we have given them something, or we haven't given them something, or we have interacted with them in a certain way that they will never forget. Do you know what I mean? And going back to like what you're saying about the bants and the cussing, that's in my house all the time. So them lot got the handbook from their dad, because I was cussing them from young. They got the handbook. Yeah, straight. So they knew the situation. They knew when they got into primary school, this is what you're getting, because my dad already cusses me. So it's nothing new. What you're going to say to me is nothing. You know what I mean? So in when you think about preparation, you're thinking about focus. If you're looking at it, you put them into different age brackets, like 1 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 18, 18 to 21. When I look at it like this, I'm going, okay, what is my fathering in this space? How does it shift? How do I shift? Do you know what I mean? Even the fact that I've got 2 sons and a daughter, you shift, you change.
I was gonna mention that.
Yeah, you shift and change, because everyone was saying, now you got your daughter, it's gonna soften you up, right?
You didn't like that.
I didn't like it, because for me it was like, no, because I think it was how it was addressed. It was like, no, you're gonna get soft, and I was like, no,
bad man.
No, big man. Like,
bad man.
Realist bad man out here. You get me?
Really bad.
So with the boys, there's always, it always feels like with father and son, there's a sternness. But it was always bants as well. With my daughter, I have softened, but she still gets it. If she's gone in a certain way, I say to her, don't talk to me. When you're ready to talk to me properly, come chat to me properly, and I leave her be. We have jokes, we have bants. I bants with her the exact same way I bants with the boys. And sometimes like, Dad, why are you being like this? But in my head, I'm like, I'm just preparing you. So now she's throwing it back. And her bants, hey, bro, for her age, because she's been watching her 2 older brothers with me and her mum, it's finished. It's like when now her confidence in how she has to deal with her brothers, her dad, and her mum is ensured her that she can deal with the world.
I like that though.
You know what I mean? So there is a, like, having, my son's going to be 17, my other son's 15, and my daughter's going to be 10. Like, looking at all of that and their pathways and how they've grown, the key thing is that I have made sure, I made a conscious decision to make sure that I hold those moments for myself as well. And just to say, I never feel guilty. I try not to be in that guilty space of missing out or that guilty, or I should have. It didn't happen. I got to move on.
Yeah, facts.
It didn't happen.
Facts.
Or it did happen. So with that, I can't be guilty. All I could do is make it better.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit to the point you were saying about walking with your children and then being proud, like, this is my dad. And it just reminded me. So a few weeks back, my youngest came to me and he was like, Dad, there's a school trip to Southend. They're looking for parents to come along. I said, nah, bruv, I'm not the one. So I'm not the one. They said, oh, Dad, I really want you to come. This, that, and the other. I was like, okay, right. Put the letter down now. I'll see if I can. And this boy really wanted me to come. And if I'm being like 100% honest, just more than anything, probably like social anxiety of like, I don't want to go on a trip and talk to young school children and make small talk with your teachers. I don't want to do it. Yeah. But then I paused and I thought, I never wanted my mum or dad to come on a school. And that's no shade to them.
I was gonna say that's no shade a bit. Why?
That's no shade to them.
Bring jollof rice.
I think
my brother used to get all of that enjoyment, bro. My mum used to go in. I never got, bro. I was so pissed. My mum she never went on no school trips.
You know why I say it?
She went on school trips with my bro. The best time.
I'm shocked.
Best food.
I'm shocked at that because the reason why I said it was because also, like, it was just not an energy that I got from my parents.
Yeah,
that they
my
wanted
dad did it with Richard
to
as
come
well.
on a school trip. So it's not even something I'd even asked them, sort of thing. It's just like,
they went
and we were like,
for football, like
so
weekend.
like different generations. But I was like deep in like, no, this boy really wants me to come.
Yeah, of course,
man.
And so signed the thing, boom, Southend, cool. So we go Southend. And it was actually a lovely day out, really, because the teacher actually just wanted to treat the class to a day out. So it was like, yeah, we're gonna do this, but really we're just going to the beach and we're gonna play and whatnot have you. And then when we were going there, and you know, you're walking along the street, everybody's 2x2. I thought that my man would be like with his brethren and whatnot have you, but he's rolling with me. And he's chatting with me. And I'm like, okay, like, I like this. Like, I like this. And then we got to like Plaistow Station. And then one of his friends, she must have asked me a question about the trains or something like that. And I just answered.
What's she called? Mr. Evans?
No, I was just, the whole day I was Okaija's dad.
Okay.
I was Okaija's dad. And
Okaija's dad? So literally,
Okaija's dad. And she asked me this question, I answered it. And then she went to Okaja, she goes, Okaja, your dad's cool. And this guy, he looked at me, he smiled, he looked at her, he goes, I know.
And was that the first time?
And I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The gasment was on 1,000. Like,
yeah, man.
I was just like, rah.
Yeah.
Me, yeah?
He said, I know. That's what he wanted. He was actually trying to make you come because he wanted people to understand who his dad was.
Yes.
Listen, we had the whole day, we done our thing, we came back, dropped them off. And then when he came back home from school, he was like, Dad, like, yeah, do you know what so-and-so said about you? I goes, what? He goes, Okaja, your dad's cold. Cold.
Damn.
I was like, for the next 24 hours, you couldn't talk to me, you know?
Yeah,
I was like,
you're feeling good.
You couldn't talk to me, but I say all of that to be...
Now, you know what? You're not getting away with that.
What?
Because I'm going to ask another question. I'm going to ask everyone another question.
I say all of that to say of just like, I'm so glad that I didn't let my isms kind of get... Because I could have easily been like, Judge, I love you, but I'm busy. And even if I did want to go, even the thing of being busy was a valid excuse. Like, there's a lot of work on. But it's just one of the best days that I had. That said, he pushed his luck. I'm going to say this one last story and then move on, yeah? I'll let you have it. He pushed his luck. So it was my birthday recently, right? And there was another trip coming up to a farm, city farm. And I said, rude boy, no. Like, beach, I can do, yeah? Farm, I'm not interested.
I can't believe that.
I'm not interested. I'm not doing that. So on my actual birthday now, I'm out and I get a phone call. and it's the school calling, and you know, as with school age kids, whenever you see the school on your phone, you're just like,
I don't really want to talk to you.
do you know what I mean? Them ones there.
Something's happened.
Yeah. So answer the call. Hi. It's like, hello, Akaja's dad. Even the teacher. I was like, yeah. She goes, I'm just with Akaja. First of all, I just wanted to say happy birthday. Akaja really wanted me to wish you a happy birthday.
Wow. Look at that.
And so I'm like, what? And I just started laughing. Yeah. She goes, yeah, no, he said I must wish you a happy birthday. And I was like, all right, cool. And then she was like, and then also, like, I'm one parent down for the trip next week to the farm. And so I said, this one is a master manipulator.
He said my dad would do it.
Manipulator.
He said my dad would do it.
So I'm there on the phone like, meanwhile, the last thing I need to do in my life on that day is take a day off from work and go on a farm. Like, I've got, like,
The
do you know what I
farm
mean?
is dope, though.
No,
What's wrong
bro.
with you,
Listen,
man?
I rolled up into the farm, smelt the smell straight away, and was like, this is why I shouldn't be here. This is why I shouldn't be here. But yeah, no, so he panned me so nicely where I was just like, okay, yeah. And I went. But then after the farm, I was like,
that's the end of it.
I'm done. I'm done. But yeah, you said there's something
I've
you're
got
not
a
gonna
question
get.
for both of you, but I've got two things to say. One is I want to ask Ken this question. Have you ever been on a school trip with one of the youths? I don't think you have, right?
No, I haven't been on a school trip. But anytime I come down to the school, it's lit, innit?
Yeah. that one I know straight away. I know
Bro.
straight away.
Anytime I come down to the school,
Man said it's
I'm
lit.
telling you now, yeah? They know. Like, when it comes to parents' evening, and I come down, I come down, and usually one of them is doing the helping the ushering of the parents to go to wherever they need to go to. And then they're with their friends. So then when I come in with obviously my bop and my little...
Okay.
I come a little bop, innit?
Yeah.
So the other one's bopping with me, innit?
Yeah.
So then we see the third party, or the third person, they come over, we do a little handshake and everything. And, and the students see it. So obviously I know why you're coming over to me, because obviously you slightly want to show off. So, I'll entertain it. So I go, okay, cool, you good? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. And there's certain things like when they're with their brother or whatever, they'll say something or they'll try and be cheeky to me. So I'll cuss them in front of their friends. I go, shut up, you waste, man. Where's the teacher? I need to go and chat to the teacher. And they went, oh, your dad talks to you like this. And they're like, yeah, but that's my dad. So then when I walk back out, I look at them, I say, you lot good, yeah? And the students like, yeah, we're good. And after a while, they'll be like, bro, like, your dad's big, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your dad is like, your dad's no joke.
Your
innit?
dad's wet.
Yeah, your dad's no joke. So every time they go, oh yeah, Kenya Malachi, your dad, like, he's big, bro. Like, wow, like, is he
just
like,
towering
you know what I
over
mean?
all the
So then,
dads.
so
All their dads
I'm
look
just
so
stiff.
small.
I come in stiff, but I come with jest.
Yeah.
So with that, it's always the thing when you come in, they feel like, yeah. And what it is with the teachers as well, I always have my phone. With my phone, I always have my phone with me and I go, okay, cool. What do you need from me to aid what it is you're teaching them? And some of the teachers are like, oh. And I go, okay, cool. I'm just going to get my phone. I start writing down, boom, 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 boom. And I then report it back to Nuna. I say, these are the things that I got from it. And the boys are looking at me thinking, right, that's taking all this information down. I'm not playing. If I'm coming to your parents' evening, this is an evening for me to be a parent and make sure I support your teacher, because I expect your teacher to support me. If I come down to the school and say, you are being a chief, I expect your teacher to regulate you.
Has there been a time you've walked into any circumstance? Because I know my brother's had this, where you've embarrassed your child, where your child's gone like, oh, dad's looking like this, or dad's wearing that, or because we've had some parents come down and you just like, yo, your dad should not have worn that. Your dad should not. Has there been any circumstances where they haven't been so proud or
There's
haven't been so happy about the moment, even if it's a reprimand or whatever?
There's two kind of things that come to mind. The first is a bit 50-50. So lockdown, I was up at like 4:00 in the morning. I had to go and do a shoot. Came back about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like the previous days, they had been on at me at like to take them to the park, and I had promised them that day that I was like, when I get back, I'm gonna take you to the park. But I got back and man was I was shattered. Like I'm sitting in the front room, like barely like that. Now I don't really let my kids play out, sort of thing. But lockdown, that kind of got relaxed a little bit, more so banana. But anyway. So I remember
them little sly shots.
I remember
Them sly shots.
I
No,
turned
you're
up
not,
to the road, no
you're,
lie.
you're not getting away with that, man. You come like Sniper Dan. Allow it, man.
I turned onto the road and I'm driving down and swear to God, I could see some kids in the distance. I said, look at these vagabonds playing in the street.
They were yours.
They were my vagabonds. So I pulled up on the drive and even them man were a bit like, dad's back. Like, and I pulled up to the drive. They've literally just come, like, because they're just like, obviously fun time's over because my man does not like this. I just looked at them and I'm like, you all right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right. And they're just standing there. It's all right, you go. Because like, I'm not going to be the, do you know what I mean?
Party pooper.
So I've gone in, I'm sitting down and I'm falling asleep. And I'm like, yeah, now I've got to take a park. And now I'm like, I even want to take a park even more because I'm like, I don't want you. But I literally can't keep my eyes open. And then I was like, listen, I'm sitting here. Yeah, I can see them. Just go and sleep. I was like, all right, cool. I've gone upstairs. Like, I'm literally gone into bed. I'm just in my boxers. And I'm trying to fall asleep. I can't fall asleep. Then I don't know, maybe it was like 10 minutes later, all I hear is Nana's voice screaming at the top of her lungs. Don't talk to them like that. Come like EastEnders. Don't talk to them like that, yeah? I just jumped from the bed. Boxers, nothing, yeah? Flew down the stairs. Boom, straight out the door. So I'm standing at the bottom of the drive. Boxers, bellies hanging out. And so there's like a local kind of crackhead type person. And now we're like, boom, like that. And I can't even remember what I was saying. So I say it's 50-50 because it's like, obviously no child appreciates their dad standing in the street in nothing but his boxers. And you ain't even got a physique to be like, why are you standing in the street with your boxers? But then it was also 50-50 because they were like, dad was ready to swing sort of thing. So that's one thing, yeah. But then there are days where I have gone to the school looking like a tramp. Yeah, like, and credit to them, they've never said anything. Yeah. But it's the look. It's the look. It's just the look of like, wow, it's disappointment.
But you do realise you've slyly given some of their friends that if they go secondary school with, they'll have ammunition.
Do you remember when Okai's dad came with? Remember? Oh,
I think the thing that they'll probably say about me is like, remember like Akai and Akai's dad, and he'll come pick them up, and he just got that long, dusty black jacket that he was always wearing. Like, that's probably the thing that they'll say. You see,
I know with Ken, it's nothing to do with the gums, because I know you'd always step into every set of circumstances on point. But there has to be something, bro. Come on.
Yeah, it's not about drip because I got OCD. So I'll never come down. Yeah. However, I have said to them, don't make me embarrass you, because I will come down to the school in a dressing gown and shorts. and wear some Crocs. Like, I'll come down that raggo. Yeah, I said to him, I'll do that just to embarrass you. So I'm not. It's not unintentional. It's intentional. I'll come to embarrass you.
But has there been anything?
Yeah. So it's not even really many. Mm-hmm. It's more so the one. So my second one was on a trip. He went to a debate in central London, and at the time, Nuna was away. So she gave me the information of when he's going to get back. So I was told that at, when is it? 4:30, no, at a particular time, I can't remember what time it was. He's supposed to be back to the school, right? And then it takes about 10-15 minutes from the school for him to get home, depending on whether he gets bus or he walks. Cool. And at the time, it was winter time. So it's getting darker, innit?
Yeah.
Right? So the time that he gets there, bearing in mind that he has a phone, right? So the time that I've been told he's going to get to the school, I call his phone. No answer. Call his phone, no answer. So I leave the 15 minutes, because sometimes he would walk without his phone in his hand, which I appreciate. 15 minutes has gone by. I call his phone, no answer. 20 minutes, no answer. Right? And we're in Newham. Right? 25 minutes, no answer. So now I'm getting nervous. And the nervousness is now changing slightly into this rage. Slightly into this like Bruce Leroy energy. Yeah, golden dragon situation. Right? So I had to go. I something went like that. I went all in black, bro. I kid you not. I went all in black. I got on my moped and I started to drive down the back roads looking for my son. I get to the school and I see him with 3 other youths, quote unquote youths, laughing and joking. Yeah? Bro, listen. Laughing and joking. I see him and I'm coming. I just turn the corner, I see him. But I run up the moped on the pavement. I run up the moped on the pavement and I started going off. I said, boop, boop, boop. I went off, started cussing. 2 of the students left. They walked off. There was no buy from them. They walked off. 1 stayed. So I'm cussing. Like, I got no information. All I was told is you're supposed to be at this time and that time. I called your phone. I tried to call someone else's phone. If I don't know the number, why am I picking up the phone, bruv? I'm calling your phone. I gave you a phone for a reason. I said, furthermore, I didn't have your teacher's number. I don't have none of your numbers. So what go on? So, bruv, don't make me come up to the school tomorrow and bat up someone in the school. 2 now, the person that's standing next to him is the school teacher. Oh, I'm the teacher. Basically, I took them to debate club. So I looked at him, and bruv, I didn't care. Like, I actually didn't care. I was like, okay, but I have no number for you. Because I'm really sorry about this. I can understand how you're feeling. He goes, like, how? I said, you know how, bruv, you don't know where. I said, bruv, you don't know where. I said to the teacher, you don't know where I am. You don't know where I am right now. I said, I'm here. I said, bruv, I said Malachi, I said, I'm so gone, bruv. I have my flipping metal bar in my moped.
Yeah.
I said, bruv, I'm so ready for war right now. So my energy was ready to just destroy. Yeah. And Malachi's just standing there, and I'm just looking at Malachi, and Malachi tries to say something, and I was just like, what? I said, and the teacher was like, yeah, if you need to come down to the school tomorrow. I said, I'm coming down to school tomorrow. I'm coming down to school tomorrow because I need to talk to someone because this is not right. Why am I not getting spoken to? Whatever. So I'm vexed. I said to him, walk, go home. And as he's walking down the street, I drive, and then I drive down, and I see 2 brothers at the end of the road. I'm like, and then my son's gonna walk past them. I didn't like it. I drove back. He then met up. He said 2 of his friends were there. I said, Malachi, get on the back of the bike. Illegal thing. He goes, oh, Dad, what? I said, do you want me to get off this bike for you?
I said what I said.
Do you want me to get off this bike? No, Dad, no, please, Dad. He said, no, Dad, please, Dad. So get on the Bumba Clark bike, brother. He gets on the bike, and I whiz him till he can get to a bus stop. I said, get on that bus, get off the bus, and get home. I get home, bruv, and I tell you the feeling that I had. And obviously he spoke to his mum. Malachi wasn't happy. He wasn't happy at all with how I acted. Because next morning I said, am I coming down to school? He goes, no, Dad, you don't need to come down to school. Are you sure? Do I need to come down to school? I'm coming down to school, and someone's head is spiritually going to get taken off. Like, what's the situation? No, you don't have to come down to school. So I calm myself down. But at the time, because of the ends, because I know the ends, it was fear. Pure fear. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I mean by the preparation of love. He couldn't really comprehend at the time. And Nuna had to tell him, your dad loves you so much.
You put yourself in harm's way.
That you in harm, you can see the level that your dad will go if you are in harm. And I said to them, boys, do not make me come down to your school for any fights. Because if you put yourself in a situation where you're having a fight, I'm going to beat you up in front of your friends. And then after that, I'm going to beat someone else up. And in highly likely, I'm going to have to fight the person's dad, because then that will then become a chain reaction. So don't make me come down to the school for nothing. 2 now has not had a fight in school throughout the whole of his year in secondary school. Man finished today.
Oh, he finished today?
He is officially finished, bro.
So, wow, wait, we got to celebrate that.
Yeah. Do you know what? Cheers to that, though.
Yeah, man. Look what's something, bro. Man, you brought someone to that whole... Oh, water. Nah, bro, don't cheers with what. What's wrong with you?
All right, let's see what we got.
When choosing somebody to have children with, what are the most important values, behaviors and observations that you can share with people listening that will help them make healthy, powerful choices for long-term co-parenting, which is basically forever.
That's it.
Forever.
The problem with that question, so I'm gonna not that I'm coming to answer straight away, is that it is so nuanced.
But I think
because it's your character as well that's connected with that.
Yeah.
Someone's got to be able to deal with your character just as much as you can deal with their character, which comes with a whole lot of experience and a whole set of values, morals as well. Just the notion of being African, like that's a big one for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let alone Ken being a West Indian, you know, all of these different things. Bruv, it's so nuanced. How do you answer that?
I guess you answer it from a personal perspective.
Okay.
So even before I met Nana, and this is just purely based on observing my parents. So I was always like, I want a Ghanaian woman. Just because I looked at what my parents had and how they, in their friendship circles.
Oh yeah.
So including your mum and dad and what have you. And I was just like, I want that. And so for me, it made sense that I would go and find another Ghanaian to have that with, because we would have the same understanding of what it is to wake up on a Saturday and get ready to go to Auntie so-and-so's for this party or whatnot have you. So I that was at the forefront.
A massive cultural element.
Yeah. And it was like, you know, one could say it was, and it possibly is quite a superficial thing, but it was just what I grew up observing. So that's not to say that this doesn't happen anywhere. Of course it happens everywhere else, but obviously growing up as a young person, I'm like, oh, I want this specific Ghanaian brand of it because this is what I've...
Ghanaian brand.
Yeah, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that was probably one of the first type of things. But then when we get to the specifics of a person, what I wanted was, like, in terms of somebody that I would raise children with, I wanted a teacher. Somebody that could teach my children something, teach my children values, but then also teach them, for want of a better, I can't find teach them how not to be stupid. Like, I'm sure there's a word relative for it. I'm sure there's a word for it, but like, and I think that's definitely what, and the reason why I phrase it like that is because when I watch the interactions between Nana and the boys, it is as clear as that, where it's like, we're going to do things very logical. So if you're doing something stupid, stop. What you're doing is stupid. I'm going to tell you why it's stupid.
Okay, all right.
And
rather than the notion of just someone who's stop that,
right,
with no lesson at the back of
you
that.
See what I'm saying? There is, and don't get me wrong, I'm like that, but I'm also the other way. Like, catch me on a particular day, I've said what I've said in it. I don't want to explain myself. I've told you to stop something, stop it. But then I also think, which comes back to the thing of like values and behaviors, I also think it's important that you find somebody that will balance you out and match you. So when I am being a hothead, we're not both going to be a hothead. Yes. I mean, being a hothead isn't in her thing anyway. But when I am being a hothead, when I am being a hothead, then I am like, at least I know. There's been times where I've gone off, and then I'll send her a message and I'll be like,
fair play, I
went off, so you're gonna need to do some.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get that.
But I also feel like sometimes in the grand schema of things, in raising these children,
excuse me,
grand schema of things.
Oh, like okay, you sorry.
What did I say? What did I say?
No, you said schema, and I was like, wait, hold on a second. Then I realized what you were saying. My bad. It's because you're a stickler for the words things. Sorry, my bad.
But I appreciate that. Because I do the same thing.
No, but you be making up stuff, bro.
Do you know why I make up words, bruv?
It's more impactful, I'd say.
It's impactful, but
all words were made up.
I don't have to say anymore.
You know, but going slightly off a thing, because at the moment, words is a massive thing in my house, but Akaija, talking to Akaija is so beautiful.
Oh yeah,
'Cause this
this
This boy won't use standard words.
yeah, bro. Remember, I swear the other day, I was just,
yeah. You know what? I was watching when he was talking, and then he was dropping certain words, and her mouth was just like,
bro, the way I can't even.
yeah,
It was just beautiful to hear this guy, because I asked him about my man, innit?
yeah.
So when I started speaking about it and I asked him to give us his take, bro, man used words to make sure he hit, not just like a general term. No, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
And you need to focus on that part. Brother, it was beautiful.
Very specific words.
Anyway.
But then that also goes back. So going back to the question,
Teacher.
that's also another thing, because it's like she's always spoken to them on a level. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we're not gonna do no like it's always very.
Do that again, please.
The thing is,
Bless
sometimes
you.
it feels like having two Michaels. You know?
Exactly. If he did that to me, I would say, bro, I ain't doing that, man. You know, I'll be like, nah, bro.
But you do that to me, I'll do something again, and you'll be like, say that again.
Because you will. You're good with that. He said, say that again. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So values behaviors observations it is essentially I am looking for, and I believe I have picked a woman who is going to help me raise young men who will add value to lives.
Wow. Okay.
That's
beautiful.
yeah.
Ken, I don't know what you wanna, because obviously I think you've been married
The longest.
definitely.
Is it?
It is.
It's mad at here. I think just for jokes, because I'm a foolish person. Our raw, like on a real, you can even ask. I looked and I said, "Yeah, you're gonna be the mother of my kids."
Mad.
I just looked at her and I was just like, "Yeah, me having kids with you, it's gonna be lit." I did.
You didn't say lit. Lit wasn't.
No, not lit. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be sick. I looked at it. Yeah, if I have kids with you,
I
looked at it. If I have kids with you, children gonna be now. Yeah, thank you. So that's one. But on the reels, what for me was very, very interesting is that I looked at the fact that, again, as a West Indian man with an African woman, when I deep it, what is that with regards to just traditions and heritage? Because it's funny because from a Grenadian point of view, I'm not really in tune with my culture like that. I know the music, I know the feeling, the food, the vibe. But when you're looking at certain traditions,
that's the culture, though. Let's not diminish that.
Not diminish it, but I feel like, and this is more so, I think, say coming to your house, Mikey, there are certain traditions, which when I look at it and I value, I go, yeah, we're us West Indians, we're laid back like that. And maybe some West Indians are like, nah, but Ken, you don't know the Caribbean like you should, and that's fair enough. So there is certain traditions within Nuna's culture, Kenya, that they do, and they have certain food things that are very, very different. So in that, I didn't foresee that was going to happen, but I knew there was going to be an enclave, like a buffet of different feels and different energies that was going to come to light for these kids, and just certain opportunities to have more than just Grenada, because now Kenya, we've been to Kenya. So when I look back, I think, okay, that's something interesting. Nuna, just with regards to her value, she's a hard worker, and because we both work hard, our children see that. They know about hard work. So I appreciate Nuna's humor, her hard work, her tenacity, her drive, even her being stubborn. And she knows she's stubborn. Her name means stubborn. You know what I mean? Nuna means stubborn. Yeah. Wow. And that's a gift and a curse, because when her mind is set, her mind is set, and she's things the things get done. But when things get done, also comes, you tried too hard, and you needed me to help you. Them moments. You know what I mean? It's like you could have waited, but you couldn't. But the stubbornness just stopped you from waiting. So there's a bit of impatience in that space. But with all of that, and with the understanding of how we are to each other, we know what we like and dislike about each other. So with that, it felt like for us to bring children or a child into this world, there will be a realization. I think that's a key thing of realization. Like you said, that there's no goo gaga. We're talking to our children properly. Like I will say, well, go on. Even like, you know what I mean? Because that's my lingo, that's my talk. So the feeling, the love of it, plus we both into dance. And because we're both into dance, the exposure to the arts, to our family and friends, to the dance community. Like when our firstborn came, everyone was auntie and uncle. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was auntie and uncle. So it felt like the support system, the love system was happening. And it's hard because sometimes if I really look back properly, you won't know if that person is right or wrong to have a child with them. You won't know. Because the first thing, the first thing is, are you right or the wrong person for me to be with?
Yeah.
Because being with that person, having a relationship with that person is one thing. To then have a child with that person is a completely different situation. The dynamics change. Yeah. The resilience has to kick in now. Do you know what I mean? Patience has to kick in. Yeah. Respect needs to kick in. All those different things have to come into play. So, you know, when it comes to that, sometimes you grow into, like, you know what I'm saying about the grow into that love. You grow into that responsibility. You grow into that fellowship. The two of you being parents. And what you just said about one of you being the bad cop or one being the good cop. How do you balance that out? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes Nuna's going off on them. Me, I go for a walk. I go upstairs. I'm not involved because you don't need it. I need to come and support. Yeah. If them youths think they're bad, then I'll be like, you're talking to my wife. Yeah. That's your mum. But you're talking.
I've dropped that same line,
bruv. Me
regularly.
That's my wife, you know,
bro. I go, listen.
Yeah.
Big man thing. Yeah.
Bro.
That's your mum you're talking to. Yeah. So respect that. I said, but before she was your mum, she's my wife. Yeah. If you was any man on road,
couldn't do it.
It's a situation.
You couldn't do it.
So what are we saying now? Yeah. Do you want a situation? So real is real. Don't come and don't raise your voice. If I hear you from upstairs, raise your voice, you're gonna hear my steps coming down. Yeah. Like,
straight.
Don't do it.
Straight.
So yeah, I think sometimes you like you do look and you go, I can see. You foresee sometimes. Yeah. And then after a while you go, you know what? Let's grow together. Yeah. So even if you can't see it, we are still growing together to be in that space, to be that equilibrium that we need.
You know what? Russ, you can definitely see, and you know what you both have said, and Ken, what you said, I think is so potent in the sense that generally I don't come on here and expose my relationships like that. It's just me. I'm a private person. I prefer it that way. I think that more than anything else, I'm in the public eye, and because of that public persona and that energy, I want something for me. So my personal spaces are generally that. Like, I don't talk about my relationship with Ken. Like, as people will know what we do, what we make, what we create, but I don't come and say, oh, me and Ken, we did this last night. You know, I don't talk about that to all my personal relationships because in part, you want something for yourself, but you guys have said stuff that I cannot not talk about, especially in terms of the question that Marvin asked, because my circumstance doesn't sit in the same space as yours, where there was long-term relationship, there was marriage, there was all of these kind of energy. So I feel like it's important for me to kind of speak some of mine for the person who doesn't have that set of circumstance. So our boy didn't come in a space of us knowing we wanted to create this life, right? And the initial space that I was in, where we was at our journey, I was like, I think this is going to create more problems for us than it's going to create, a betterment for us. And she kept on saying, no, Mike, how do you not know? This might do something more for us. And I have to take my hat off because she's right. She was right. I know she's going to be gassed now because I would never talk about this kind of stuff. Like I've told her. I've told her she was right. And the things that I would mention specifically is the one value that I really wanted my child. And it was crazy because at that time I was saying, I'm not having that. I'm not creating this value. Was that I wanted my child to see us in love. Like them to understand love looks like that. And that's what boy, girl, love looks like that. My parents, you know, and we started our journey just like that, you know, and yeah, bruv, it was such a, not only an eye opener, but the notion of the diligence and the tenacity to make it work. That's what we both had.
Yeah.
You know, the idea of we've got to try and build this scenario, because not only is it bigger than us, the classic, oh, we're having some, you know, they didn't ask to be here, all of those different things. It's like, no, the thing we've wanted, we actually have the opportunity to create that. This is a moment to grab that, rather than sit there and say, oh, it's not the way it should have been. I wanted it like this. I don't know her so well. She don't know me so well. She's from this place. I'm from that place. We were sitting in that kind of no man's land, you know, whereas I guess both of you had the opportunity to build that over years, time, you know, and that's what's been beautiful is building in this set of circumstances where between us, there is someone who is so beautiful, so me, so her. At the same time, the thing we actually wanted is there.
Yeah.
We wanted a relationship which looked like X, you know, and we're working at it, you know, and for me, I think it was the notion that I guess me and her could build a life, you know what I mean, which includes a child, because both of us wanted kids. It's like the, you know, standard ones is that you want to be on the same page in terms of discipline. You want to be, and I'm not talking about just beating your child or whatever, but just the idea, the idea of what it is, because like you both spoke about something, and now I'm gonna get onto her a bit. Like she does that whole talking thing, but she's from across the water, so they do all of that stuff. Do you know what I mean? They say, oh, she got that voice as well. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But no, I know that I'm that other energy, because he needs that too. He needs something that feels like that, you know, because I know the way I am. I'm very, very locked in. I'm stern. I would say, because it caused problems for us early, I'm very stoic. I try my best to be as stoic as possible. Whereas acknowledging the scenario and the set of circumstances and not allowing my feelings and emotions to color the idea of what what needs to happen here, you know, and it's a gift and a curse, because sometimes it makes you look cold. It makes you look like you don't give a shit. And in a roundabout way, it's not, no, I give a whole load of shit.
Lot.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure that I am being valuable in making the right decision and not making something that's based upon my own personal emotions and feelings. So it's that balance. It's that I know she can balance me in that other area, you know, that I'm not the best at, you know? And it's funny because most recently, she's like, I always thought I was going to be the soft one with him, but you're going to be the soft one. And I said, no, it's not that. It's more that, yeah, man, like, I must admit, like, I remember there was one night, bro, I just was like, that's my little kid. That's my little boy. Do you know what I mean? And bruv, I'm going to say this now. It's going to make me look so stupid, but I'll say that. Tina Moore, Never Gonna Let You Go. 1994, bruv. Heard that in the Hope in Ilford, fam. I went to Okai's birthday. I went to the brunch. Bruv, I heard that song. It brought tears to my eyes, bro. Never gonna let you go, cause you're my baby. Like, worth more than $1 million in gold.
Yeah.
Bruv, I just started thinking of him.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh. How did I know that song from back there is going to make me feel the way it made me feel there? I was just like, I'm never going to let you go. Do you know what I mean? And that balance of, you know, what that love looks like and what love looks like to us and what we're building towards is the notion of this is, and so this the other value is this notion of sitting at a table and having a conversation where it's hard and listening, like literally listening. And I do bad sometimes with that. She does bad sometimes with that, but that notion of wanting to stay in that space to kind of make sure that you guys can listen and work through those emotions, those scenarios. Is that person willing to do that with you? Even when it's difficult, when it's dark, when it's problematic, when there's feelings involved? I would definitely say even if you don't end up with that woman, if you're outside of that space, that value of being able to say, we can discuss this thing
Yes.
is super, super important.
I'm glad you said that, because I think that is also like another key thing where through all the trials and tribulations, I can't really, no, I say there's in 24 years, there has been one time where me and her have gone, like just like one time. And I think that's probably one of the things that I value so highly, is being able to go, yeah, so you see that thing, didn't like that. And then you have a discussion about it. And don't get me wrong, it's like that, we've had some hard discussions, but it's never been that I'm just wilding out. So what I will say is, just to round it off, actually, one value that's massively big for me, emotional intelligence.
Oh, that?
Yeah. For me, that,
and you know what? It's sometimes understanding what you're, because I guess with men, sometimes generally there is this notion of people don't see anger as an emotion. They see it as just this action that is just destructive and dramatic. And I think as men, sometimes we have to understand, no, that's probably our go-to, and I can't find a better word, our go-to space of release, rather than say crying, or I don't know, some other kind of massive show or display of emotion. And the idea of understanding, no, actually, this is how I feel, and being able to transmute it into understanding that's how you feel. So therefore place it in front of someone to make it work, make them understand, rather than it being that action, which is quite destructive. I think that is so important from an emotional intelligence point of view. Understanding, no, I'm hurt. I'm actually hurt right now. And that hurt has made me feel like this, rather than just saying, no, you taking me out for an idiot. Do you know what I mean? You just instantly go to that space of like disrespect, you know? And yeah, sometimes you have been disrespected. I get it and all of that. But the notion of being emotionally intelligent, bruv, like it's a value that is super underrated in terms of understanding yourself, because I think everyone thinks about it from the other way. You get me? You want them to be emotionally intelligent, when it's like, no, you need to be, you need to understand your emotions in those set of circumstances.
I think even just the thing of as well, sometimes like knowing, yo, let me give that person their space. Like we actually don't even need to talk. You know, like they're pissed, and actually right now that's all they need. So yeah, emotional intelligence.